Hi everyone, it's Stephanie here, and in today's video we are going to be taking a closer look at the September release. All of this new product will be available for purchase tonight at mftstamps.com. So September 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern, you'll be able to get your hands on all of this fun new product. So I thought I would go through each of them quickly today in this video to kind of show you the entire release at a quick glance and see what is going to be available. So I'm going to go ahead and move everything aside, and we can go ahead and start with the stamp sets. So first up, we have the Love You to the Core stamp set. This is our newest Pure Innocence set, and it features our adorable Pure Innocence girl sitting on a little bench. She has a basket of apples and one apple in her hand, and then we also have included an individual apple, so you'll be able to stamp one on its own. And then we have 3 coordinating sentiments that will work with the image. We of course have coordinating dies, so these are going to cut out your girl image as well as the individual apple. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do with this one. As always with these stamp sets, there is great coloring possibilities. So if you like markers or pencil crayons or watercolor, there's all sorts of different ways that you can color in these images, and they're a lot of fun. So that is our newest Pure Innocence Love You to the Core. Next up, we have the Rooting for You stamp set, and this is kind of a follow-up to our Magical Day stamp set that we released last month. This little bear image is returning this month as a gardener, and he has a cute little shovel and some carrots in his hand, and then we have a bunch of different sentiments that coordinate with him. So, you're a 24 karat friend, I love you a whole bunch, I carrot about you, I love that one. I'm rooting for you, thanks bunches, and I dig you. So just some really fun sentiments that are going to pair nicely with the image. And then of course we have a coordinating die for this as well, so you're easily able to cut him out. So once again, he is going to work great with all sorts of different coloring mediums, and you're going to be able to color him in and make him the focus on a card design. So that is the Rooting for You stamp set. Next up, we have the Wild Woodland stamp set, which is a 4x6 inch set, and this features some really cute woodland characters. We have this really big bear image who is really uniquely designed. I really like him. And then we have this cute little squirrel, we have an owl, and we have a hedgehog. We of course have included a tree and a branch so that you're able to quickly and easily create some scenes. And then we have some smaller accessory stamps that can be used on their own or with all of the different images in this set. And then we have coordinating sentiments in a nice kind of bold font. Thank you for being my friend. With love from all of us, your friendship makes life bearable, and on nuts, I missed your birthday. That one's super cute. So you're going to be able to quickly and easily color all these images with all of your different coloring mediums and create some really fun scenes. And then of course you have your coordinating dies, which are going to cut out all of the images in the stamp set. So that is the Wild Woodland. Then we have Modern Trees. This is another 4x6 inch set, and this one is probably one of my favorites from the release. I love all of the different trees included, and I love that it's a layering set. So you're gonna get 5 different tree designs, and you're going to get the tree trunk and then the top of the tree separate, so you're able to kind of stamp and mix and match your colors. And you're also going to get some individual leaves on their own. So for this one, I could definitely see kind of stamping the tree trunk with some ink and then doing some techniques with the top of the trees. You could do some heat embossing, you could do some glitter, you could also do some kind of watercolor looks. So like this guy here, I think would look really neat to do some distress ink stamping and then use some water on a paintbrush to kind of blend those colors together. And if you use fall themed colors, it would look really nice. I think it would just be a really great effect with this type of design. So there's lots of fun ways that you can use both the tops of the trees and the bottom to create some really fun effects on your cards. And then of course we have coordinating dies, and these ones here are going to cut out the entire tree. So you're going to stamp your tree trunk and your tree top into one image, and then your dies are going to cut out that entire tree. And then of course we have the little individual leaves as well. So lots of fun ways to be able to use the new Modern Trees stamp set. Next up, we have the Grateful stamp set, and this is a 3x4 inch stamp set with this big, large, scripty grateful word in kind of like a handwritten font. Then it has this accessory stamp as well, which is going to be nice to stamp above and below that sentiment. So I just kind of want to grab this out of here real quick and just show you. This is a standard A2 size card. I just kind of want to give you sizing. So this is what it would look like if you were to do a portrait card. And then also if you did a landscape card, it fills up that card area really nice. So it's a nice bold sentiment that's going to look really nice. And then you have this here too, which you can stamp below or above or kind of to the side. Or this would be really cool too to kind of create like a border effect. So have it kind of stamped all the way around your cardstock panel and then have the grateful word right in the center. This would look neat embossed with different embossing powders and kind of having glitter on it. It would look cool stamped with different colors. So there's all kinds of really fun things that you can do with this one. Next up, we have the Plentiful Petal stamp set, and this one here features these big bold flower designs with the individual centers. So you can stamp the center on its own with different colors of ink or do some heat embossing, just different ways that you can kind of dress up these flowers a little bit more by having the layering stamps. And then there are 4 individual leaves as well, so you can create big flower bouquets and have the leaves included. There is coordinating dies that you're going to be able to use to die cut all of the flowers and the leaves. And this set here was also part of a card kit. So this is coming out now as its own product for individual sale. And this set here, we featured the new Smart Align feature where we have that little arrow detail up on the flower, which indicates the top of the flower and will line up with the poke hole in the die. So you can see there's a little poke hole at the very top of this die. That means that this area right here on the die is going to line up with this area on the stamp, and it's just going to stop you from having to continuously rotate your dies to get them to line up with the flowers. It's just a really great way to make stamping and die cutting a lot more fun and a lot more quick and easy. So that is the Plentiful Petal stamp set. All Smiles is a stamp set that was also released in a card kit with the Plentiful Petals set. And this one here is a sentiment stamp set. It features the big huge word smile here in a scripty type font. And then it also features the word smile in a smaller font that is exactly the same size as all of the secondary sentiments. So if you don't want to have the big word, you can use the small word so that you can keep kind of everything the same size. This one's really cool because it has sentiments that can be used on their own, so your smile is always in style. You don't need to have the coordinating smile word to use that sentiment, but if you do want to, you can use sentiments like this one where it says, "You make my whole face," and then you would use the big word or the little word to finish that sentiment. So that's a really fun one, and it has a lot of different sentiments on here that can be used on a ton of different card designs. So that one is the All Smiles stamp set. Next up, we have the Animal Farm stamp set, and this is a 4x8" set that features all of these really cute farm animals. So we have a horse and a cow, and then we have a pairing of pigs, of sheep, and of ducks. And then we have little coordinating accessory images that can be used with all of the animals. And then we have a bunch of sentiments that are going to coordinate nicely with that. So you have "What's moo?" "Mucho gracias," "It's past your birthday," "You quack me up." So a lot of different sentiments that pair with the different types of animals to create some fun cards. So you can definitely create scenes with these. You can go clean and simple and just have one of the images. These can be colored with all sorts of different coloring mediums. So it's just a lot of fun to create farm scenes on your cards and your scrapbook layouts if you want to do it that way as well. And then of course we have all of the coordinating dies that are going to cut out all of the images in the stamp set. So that is the Animal Farm stamp set. Rustic Flowers is our newest floral stamp set, and once again this is a stamp layering set. So we have a bunch of different images that work together to create one complete flower. So this is the base image. We have a middle image, and then we have the top image. So all of these can be stamped one on top of another with different colors of inks. And we always include these little line details around the stamps that are meant to go together. You can definitely mix and match and use these however you want, but we like to at least let you know what we intend to go together, just to make your stamping a little bit easier if you want to use them as they were intended. So there is a bunch of different leaves and florals in this set that have a nice realistic look to them with these fine details in the top layers of the stamps. And then we have the coordinating dies, which are going to die cut the main flower image. So it's going to cut this part here, not this part. It's not going to cut the layering part, it's just going to cut the main part of the stamp. So that is the Rustic Flower stamp set, and this one is going to work for a lot of techniques. You can do different colored stamping, you can do stamping with ink and then heat embossing with the next layer. You can do some watercolor stamping with these different images. Just a lot of possibilities and fun ways that they can be used. So that is the Rustic Wildflower stamp set. And last for stamps, we have the Bitty Bear stamp set. So this is a 4x8" set that is the newest Birdie Brown set. And this one features 13 of these adorable little bear images. And they are so super cute and have a bunch of different accessories kind of included with them. So you have this little guy with the balloon, so he would be great for a birthday card. You have this umbrella guy, you have him, he's ready for Christmas with his little Santa hat. He's ready for winter with his little scarf. So just a bunch of different images and poses with different accessories. These are sized perfectly that you could use them on cards or scrapbook layouts or planners. If you're a planner person and like to add stamping to your planner, these little guys would be perfect to use in there because they are on the smaller size. And then we have a bunch of sentiments that coordinate with them. And the sentiments are kind of smaller as well so that they work nicely with the images. So if you want to create a clean and simple card where you kind of just have this guy right in the middle, you have the Merry Christmas sentiment that you can use right underneath of him. And it's sized nicely to kind of fit with him and not look too large with the images. So there is a bunch of different sentiments for a variety of different occasions that can be used with all of the images. And then we have the coordinating dies as well, which are going to cut out all of the little bear images and the 3 little accessory stamps as well. So that is the Bitty Bears stamp set from Birdie Brown. So now let's move on to the dies. So for the dies, we have Double the Smiles, and this was also released as part of the card kit that the Plentiful Petals and the All Smiles stamp set was in. And I'm just gonna grab the All Smiles stamp set, and you can see that this kind of coordinates with this. You have the same scripty font word smile as you do here. This isn't meant to cut out the stamped word, but it can be used on its own. It's actually the exact same size. So if you want to stamp the sentiments that need that additional word to go with them, you can coordinate and mix and match the stamp set with the dies. So it just allows you to kind of use both together, or you can completely not use the stamps and just use the dies on their own to create big, bold sentiments. This one here would be nice for a shaker card because it has really big words, and they would look really great layered one on top of another to create a lot of dimension. So that is the Double the Smiles die-namics dies. Next up, we have the Essential Speech Bubbles dies, and these are previous free with 60 and are now available for individual purchase. And these ones are really fun because they work really nice with our Essential Sentiment stamp sets. And you have 3 different sizes, so you can go really long, you have a more medium size, and then the shortest size of all of them. And I do have a card base here just to kind of get an idea for sizing. You have the smallest little guy there, then we have the medium guy, and then the biggest one. So this middle one has the little arrow going this direction, and then the smaller and larger, the arrow goes in this direction. So depending on what it is you're going to be stamping, you may want to choose them based on which direction they go. These would work really great kind of on their own with a critter kind of stamped below to create a sentiment, or you can use multiple and create conversation. So you could have a little critter right here with a little, word up here, and then have the next critter here, and kind of have them having a conversation down the card front. So just lots of fun ways that you could use these different speech bubbles in your card design. So that is the Essential Speech Bubbles die-namics. Next up, we have the Animal Farm Fence, which is a big long farm fence here that is going to stretch across your card either vertically or horizontally. And it also has a little gate detail and some extra pieces here that you can layer onto your fence post to create some dimension on your card. Now this of course is going to coordinate perfectly with the Animal Farm stamp set that's also part of this release. You can create scenes with the stamps and then have like the fence in the background. So it's a lot of fun to kind of mix and match the stamps with the dies. And I also have this die cut, so I just wanted to show you for sizing. This is the fence detail, so it's quite long. It's going to fit straight across a vertical card, and it's also going to fit across a landscape card. So either which way you go, this is going to be able to be used in either direction. And then we also have the little gate detail here, and to use this is really easy if you want to add that kind of to your fence. You just want to take some scissors, and you're just going to kind of trim your fence where you want to add your gate. So if I want to add it there, I'm just going to trim off the center area of this fence piece. So I have both of them taken off now. And then I'm just going to take some glue and add glue to the fence post on each side where I've cut that. And I'm going to take I'm going to take the gate there and just adhere it right over top of both sides of this so that everything lines up perfectly. Then that's going to leave me with my little gate detail there right in the middle of the fence. So it's really easy to create that little fence detail. And if you wanted to, you could actually cut this, not adhere that part so that your gate can actually open. So it's completely optional, however you want to use that. And then of course we have the little pieces here as well which are going to be able to create your little fence posts. So you can cut these from different colors, you can do different things, and they're just gonna layer right on top of there for some dimension. So that is the Farm Fence Die-namics. Next up we have the Thank You Circle Frame Die-namics, and this is a single die that's going to cut out this circle frame with the word thank you all the way around the outside edge. We have released a previous version of this that says happy birthday, and now this month we have the new thank you version. So this is a really great die. It's sized nicely to fit on an A2 size card. So I have a card base here and I have the die cut out with some blue cardstock, and you can see we were left with the frame detail on the inside, and then the word thank you kind of goes around the whole outside edge, and we're left with an opening in the middle. So this is really nicely sized that it can be the focal on your card, and you can do some stamped images on the inside. You can leave it completely plain, or you can turn this into a shaker card. You can also create shaker cards with this die because we have the circle shaker pouches which coordinate with the die. So this is going to fit into the center of this once it's die cut. You can see I have the dimension there. And this is going to allow you to fill this area with sequins or different things you want to add. And then you could adhere this right to your card front, glue all this outside area down, and you would have this inside area full of different shaker pieces. Another fun thing would be to take your scissors and kind of trim off all of the letters that form the word thank you. So die cut this twice and have one for the card design, and then have one that you could cut all the letters off, and then add those letters to the inside of your shaker. It would just be another fun way to kind of implement all of these letters. So that is the Thank You Circle Frame Die-namics. Next up is the slanted sentiment strips, which features two dies that have a slanted detail on the end and also a little score line for a little bit of added detail. These were also a previous free with 60 and are now available for individual purchase. And these can be used to stamp single stacked or double stamped sentiments on your cards, or you can use various sentiments of different sizes that are going to fit into these banners. These are really nicely sized and can fit either direction on your cards. And the nice thing about having the slanted edge is if you like to kind of put your sentiment strip over to the side of your card and have that slanted edge, this makes it quick and easy to be able to do that. You can kind of extend it and cut off the excess depending on how big you need it, and it's going to fit in either direction on your card design. So a lot of different options for different ways that you can use this. And if you don't want to use it necessarily for a sentiment, it also works really great as a design element. So you could kind of mix and match these and create fun geometric designs on your cards. So that is the Slanted Sentiment Strips Die-namics. Next up we have the Blessed and Blessings Die-namics dies, and this is a two-piece die set with the word blessed and blessings. And these are a really nice scripty bold font, and they are absolutely beautiful when die cut. So I have an A2 size card here, and I have both of the sentiments cut from cardstock so you can kind of see how nice and big they are and just how beautiful they are when die cut. I love this handwritten look. It's just so pretty, and these are nice and bold and can be used on their own. You can pair them with stamp sentiment, so you can kind of have the big word up top and then have something stamped underneath, and then you can include sentiment stamps. You can do just background effects. That's what I love about big words like this. You can just create really fun stamped backgrounds with different colors and different mediums, and then have these big bold words directly on top. So lots of fun ways that you can use the new Blessed and Blessings Die-namics. Next up we have the oval shaker window and frame dies, and this is a follow-up to our very popular shaker window and frame die sets. We have circles, we have squares, rectangles, a bunch of different shapes, and this is our newest one, so this is the oval. And this is fun because this die here allows you to cut a window opening, and then this one here cuts a frame detail. So I went ahead and done that with some cardstock. So I have an A2 size card, and I have the oval window cut from the inside, so you can see that was cut with that one. And then I also have the frame detail, and this is what we're going to use to layer over top of this to create our little frame over top of this window. Now this can be used just as a window, but it is intended to be used to create a shaker card. So we of course have new shaker pouches this month. These are the oval shaker pouches, and these come in a pack of 10 and are sized to work with the opening in that window. So this shaker pouch here is an oval shape, and it's going to fit right into this opening that we've die cut from this cardstock panel. And that's going to give us a little bit of dimension there on the card and allow us to create some fun shaker cards. And then we have the frame that can be layered over top for an accent piece if you want to kind of have a finished look around that oval, or you can leave it off and just keep it plain and simple with just this shaker pouch kind of peeking through. So that is the new oval shaker and window frame dynamics. Next up, we have our new A2 rectangle stack set 1 and set 2 dies. So these are 2 sets of dies that cut out rectangles from the largest to the smallest in both of these sets, and they are sized differently so that all of these can layer together. So you have 11 dies in here and 11 dies in here. So you have 22 different layering options that are going to fit in an A2 size card. So what I've done with mine is I've cut them out of cardstock here, and I have set 1 and set 2, and I've cut them from white and blue cardstock, and I've just layered them one on top of the other. So I can see at quick glance how big my rectangle is going to be when I die cut it. So all of these layer together, and that is what you get from set 1. And then from set 2, you get all of these ones. And then all of these are going to layer together and create even smaller margins between each of these dies. So this is the A2 rectangle stack set 1 and set 2. Next up, we have the pop-up alphabet dynamics die set. This is a die set that features all 26 letters of the alphabet and the ampersand symbol. And what's fun about these is that it cuts out the top area of the letters, but not the bottom. All of the bottoms of the letters have little hinges on them, so kind of like a score line. And this is going to keep it so that the letters stay intact on your cardstock panel. So I went ahead and die cut this from a piece of white cardstock, and normally you would separate these and create words on your cards, but for this one here I just die cut the whole alphabet. And you can see here that all of the letters lift up off of the card, so they stay intact at the bottom, but they lift right up off of there to give us some really great dimension and detail on this card. I just love this look when you kind of have them all popped up. And then the fun thing about this is that you can do some fun layering techniques where you take color cardstock or pattern papers or all sorts of different things and kind of have it so that that's what's showing through from behind. Another great way that you can use these is to kind of use the letters as a closure. So if you did a trifold card, you could kind of have the cardstock tuck in behind the letters, and that's going to allow you to create a really fun effect and make those letters really stand out against the colored cardstock. And then of course, if you want to use them just as individual letters and not have the hinge detail, you can just take your scissors and snip along the bottom, and it's going to give you a full alphabet as well. So that is the pop-up alphabet dynamics. And lastly, for dies, we have the pop-up numbers. This is going to coordinate perfectly with the pop-up alphabet that we just shared. And this is this month's free with 60. So if you spend $60 at mftstamps.com, when you place your order, you're going to get this die while supplies last for free with your order. So this one here is the same idea. It's got the numbers here, and all of the numbers have the hinge detail along the bottom. So when you cut these ones out, they'll be the same as the letters. They are going to pop up off of the cardstock panel and stay intact at the bottom. So once again, you can do some fun layering with these. You can kind of have different colors of cardstock. You can have the cardstock tucked in behind to make those numbers kind of stand out. So lots of fun ways that you can use all of the numbers in this set. This would be really fun for birthday themed cards that you want to make customizable for the recipient and do different ages on them. Or New Year's cards, you could do the year for the New Year's and have a nice pop-up effect. I think it would be a lot of fun to use these numbers in all sorts of different designs. So that is the pop-up numbers dynamics. And then lastly today, I just wanted to share the 2 newest paper pads. These are our 6x6 paper pads, and we have the Bundle of Blossoms, which is actually a background stamp that is very popular, and we've turned it into pattern paper. So we have the bright, so you have these big bright colors on this one here, and then we have the pastels, which is a nice softer color palette. And each of these include 2 each of all 12 of these designs. So you get all of these colors times 2 in both of these pads. So those are the new Bundle of Blossoms Brights and Pastels paper pads. So that is it for product. That is all of our release here. We have a bunch of new stamps, new dies, all sorts of new things, pattern paper, and of course the new oval shaker pouches. So thank you for joining me in today's video, taking a look at all of the new September release products. Don't forget, all of the new products will be available tonight, September the 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern at mftstamps.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month for another release video.